China has hit back at criticism that it's using vaccines to gain influence abroad. Beijing says that sort of suggestion is narrow-minded. Now, the comments come as officials from across the country gather in Beijing for the biggest event on China's political calendar. The parliamentary meetings, known as the Two Sessions, are expected to chart a course for post-pandemic recovery. Tougher rules are also expected to be announced for Hong Kong, including electoral reform. Olivia Seong joining us from Beijing. Olivia, the stage is set for the centerpiece of Chinese politics. What's on the agenda?
Absolutely. The stage is set, but certainly under very unique circumstances. We had just heard from a Chinese official a short while ago saying that this year's meeting of its top political advisory body will be shortened for a second year. And this comes as the two sessions are taking place under strict COVID-19 prevention measures, even though they are now being held back to its original schedule in March. After we had seen a delay of 2 months last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, 1 year on, though, China has declared success in its fight in containing the COVID-19 virus, and observers tell me that leaders are likely to take this opportunity to position China as really not only prevailing over the virus, but as a leader in the international community, especially as it continues to supply public goods like vaccines. Now, I had the opportunity just now to pose a question to the Chinese official, asking him about, some of the questions surrounding the domestically made vaccines, questions about safety and efficacy, as well as the transparency of its trial data. But the official continued to maintain that China continues to prioritize the safety of its vaccines. And he also hit back at criticism that China was using its vaccines shipping its vaccines overseas in order to grow its influence geopolitically. Have a listen.
这种说法、想法是十分狭隘的。疫苗是防控并战胜疫情的重要手段，也是当前国际社会抗疫合作的重要内容。中国宣誓将疫苗作为全球公共产品。 支持鼓励中国企业同有关国家开展疫苗的研发和生产合作。
Now, the spokesperson also touched on the issue of Hong Kong. We are expecting sweeping reforms to be announced to the city's electoral system. This has previously been signaled by another Chinese official, Xia Baolong, who said that Hong Kong should only be run by patriots. And this is widely seen as a move that could, disqualify pro-democracy candidates from running in future electoral races. And today, the spokesperson said that ensuring patriots administer Hong Kong is a key part, an integral part of the one country, two systems model. And he also said that the national security law, which, if you recall, was introduced last year, has played a key role in bringing back stability to the city. Critics, though, have said that this national security law has curbed some of the freedoms and the autonomy that Hong Kong has enjoyed. Have a listen.
香港的命运从来 都是与祖国紧密联系在一起的。香港背靠不断发展的祖国内地，是国际国内双循环的重要交汇点。
Olivia, last year we did not get announcement of a key figure, the GDP target at the two sessions then. What is the expectation this time round?
Well, this is something that we'll certainly be looking out for when the National People's Congress, which is China's top legislature, opens on Friday. And that's because we know that China's economy grew by 2.3% last year, which was its slowest growth in more than 4 decades. But still, China was the only major economy in the world to post positive growth. So the question is whether a GDP growth target will be released this year. Some economists say that this may be unlikely given given the uncertainties with the global pandemic still raging on. We see new variants of the virus and questions about the effectiveness of vaccines. And we also see Chinese companies suffering from some of the international tensions between China and other countries as well. But beyond the figures, what we'll also be looking out for is China's new 5-year plan, which begins from this year, as well as its 2035 vision. Now, recall that China is facing a tense relationship, in particular with the US, and so we are expecting in this document to see a greater emphasis for China to be more self-reliant and to do more in innovation, particularly in the technology sector, where we've seen great competition between China and the US as well. But there's also great significance this year for China as its Communist Party marks its 100th anniversary, also at a time as we see China pushing to really make its mark on the international stage.